Welcome to Verse Church Management Software. This tutorial is intended to give you instructions to A. Launch Verse, B. View the main switchboard and menu bar, C. Review the modules, and D. Explain a few housekeeping details. When you log on to your computer, you will notice the Verse icon. This was placed on your desktop when Verse was installed. To launch Verse, click the icon. If your computer is set up to double-click the icon. The ID and password pop-up will appear. You will notice Level 1 is in the name field. This is your permanent ID. If there's anything but Level 1 in this name field, remove it and replace it with Level 1, all lowercase, and the number 1. There's no password currently assigned to your ID. You will assign your own password, and steps to do this will be given to you in a separate tutorial. Click OK. This is the main switchboard, which contains all of the modules in Verse. A custom menu bar is located at the top of the screen and is available in all modules. In Access 2016, they have added their own menu bar, which I will be trying to get rid of because it has absolutely no bearing on Verse. So I will be trying to get rid of that and permanently having Verse's own toolbar at the top. At this point, unfortunately, we have to click the Add-ins button to view Verse's toolbar. So this was created a long time ago, and it is specific to Verse in terms of the switchboards, mini helpers, Verse manual, and passwords drop downs. You'll notice that most of this is pretty familiar. It's a familiar look and feel. You've got your file, edit, records and sorting, and format drop-down lists. You can also access it through this little button in the top. I've added this recently. You won't see it on your copy right now, but I will add it to make sure you have this because it's a quick way to view Verse's menu bar. It does disappear once you click off, but you can still access it quickly through there if you need to. In the meantime, add-ins, choose what you want, and away you go. If you want to keep the menu bar active, click the push pin on the right hand side of the menu bar, and that will dock it permanently until you choose to collapse it. So if you just click on this up arrow, that will collapse the menu. Below the menu bars is the all the modules in Verse. If you rest your mouse on each of the I just have to click on, there we go. If you rest your mouse on each of the modules, you will see a pop-up appear, and it's just a little context where it gives you the name and maybe a tiny brief description of the module. This type of little context tool is throughout Verse. You'll see wherever you rest your mouse, it's going to tell you exactly what you need to know. It's very helpful. So just a few tips to remember. The main switchboard is accessible wherever you are in Verse. You can get back to the switchboard, the main switchboard, by clicking on Add-ins, Switchboards, and Main. You obviously can also go to the Finance switchboard, the Finance Report switchboard, and Membership switchboard as well. And any of your mini helpers, just as an aside. But this is how you get back home to the main switchboard. Another tip, every form has not the reports, but the forms. All forms have an icon that looks just like this, versus icon, which is the exit button. So wherever you see the larger exit button, you might not always see the text, but you're going to see this, and that is the way you exit a form. So just click on that. Another tip, while you're viewing a tutorial, you can also be working in verse, so you can work in tandem. You can resize any of the windows to large, small. You just want it big enough to open your forms and be able to work in the forms, and plus have a space here for your tutorial. And you can resize the tutorial window as well to quite small, so that it's just big enough for you to see what's going on, and that you can follow along in this form, so side by side. You can minimize or maximize as well. I believe you would already know that from working in Word or Excel. You've got your maximize and your restore down button, which allows you then to resize it exactly the size you want. Another tip is that you can pause the tutorials anytime. If you need to pause, you can rewind, you can go forward, stop. Any of the usual functions in any video, you can do that with the tutorials as well. This ends the first verse tutorial. Next, we will look at the setup module.